And welcome back to the Drinking Christian Show. I'm the Drinking Christian Yankee Prepper. I'll also be your host and guide tonight. Our guest beer is a Chimay, made by Christian Trappist monks in Belgium. Probably one of the greatest beers in the world. They've been making beer this way for centuries. These are ancient recipes. How should I explain this? If you haven't ever tried a Chimay, really you should make an effort to put it on your bucket list. It's an incredible beer. I don't do it very often, but I'll have it during the holidays, especially this time of year. And it's just really good. It's a great experience. Chimay is to beer what Yemen Mocha is to coffee. So give it a try if you get a chance. You know, I know this last series of vids, I've been attacking the golden calves and sacred cows of our modern society. And that is social media, phones, all this mania, the zombie culture that it's created. I know it's not going to be popular, and that's never been my point on here. If you think I am on here to get your sub or attract everybody that I can, you can't be more dumb than that. I've probably lost over 100 subs in the last 3 or 4 days since I started this. I'm surprised it's not more, and maybe it should be more. I'm just one guy who has a little bit of discernment, which comes from the Lord. Wisdom and discernment comes from the Lord. And I'm a small, small voice screaming in this giant arena on social media, just screaming out of the wilderness. And I do have a method or an end that I would like to see from this somewhat madness. I'm questioning whether I'm doing the right thing, whether I should be back here, because social media does a lot of damage. It even does damage to me. I barely have the patience to put up with it, especially with the direction I'm going. But I'm still trying. I'm still here. I do see a lot of people in the comment section that get it, and that does give me hope. It really does. I want you to listen to this video. I've connected it to this, and this is from Chamath Palihapitiya. Chamath Palihapitiya, and he is genius / super software engineer. He's the guy that one of the guys that really made it possible for Facebook to become what it is. He's the genius behind it. And I want you to listen to what he's saying. I didn't get my ideas from him. I don't believe this guy is evil. But he does realize what he's done, what is being done here to our society, and the damage that's being done. And I think you'll find that it's very similar to what I've been trying to tell you on here. Most people, they think they're going to be immune to this. I'll tell you, 99% of the people out there, they think, I can go on social media and I can absorb everything I want, and I'll just filter out what I don't want, and it won't affect me. No, I can be on my cell phone. It's not affecting me. I'm not addicted. They're just blind. They're blind to it. You can't convince someone that they're a slave or they're imprisoned until they actually realize what's happening to them. And this is so powerful. Whatever's happened here, the real enemy has figured out how our minds work. And he's using this as a great weapon against us. The phone, social media, all this tech, just to keep us isolated and separated. Anyway, listen to what Chamath has to say. And this is the man that was really in it. He was there. He built this, or helped build a big part of social media.
I want to bring us back to the point that you were making about exploiting consumer behavior in a consumer internet business. You said that this is a time for soul searching in social media businesses, and you were part of building the largest one. What soul searching are you doing right now on that?
I feel tremendous guilt. I think we all knew in the back of our minds, even though we feigned this whole line of like there probably aren't any really bad unintended consequences. I think in the back, deep recesses of our minds, we kind of knew something bad could happen. But I think the way we defined it was not like this. It literally is a point now where I think we have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works. That is truly where we are. And I would encourage all of you, as the future leaders of the world, to really internalize how important this is. If you feed the beast, that beast will destroy you. If you push back on it, we have a chance to control it and rein it in. And it is a point in time where people need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. And it's not an American problem. This is not about Russian ads. This is a global problem. So we're in a really bad state of affairs right now, in my opinion. It is eroding the core foundations of how people behave by and between each other. And I don't have a good solution. You know, my solution is I just don't use these tools anymore. I haven't for years. It's created huge tension with my friends, huge tensions in my social circles. If you look at, like, you know, my Facebook feed, I've posted maybe 2 times in 7 years, 3 times, 5 times. It's less than 10. And it's weird. I guess I kind of just innately didn't want to get programmed. And so I just tuned it out. But I didn't confront it. And now to see what's happening, it really bums me out. Like, think about, like, there were these examples where there was a hoax in WhatsApp where in some, like, village in India, people were, like, afraid that their kids were going to get kidnapped, etc. And then there were these lynchings that happened as a result, where people were like vigilante running around. They think they found the person, and I mean, seriously? Like, that's what we're dealing with. You know, imagine, like, when you take that to the extreme, where, you know, bad actors can now manipulate large swaths of people to do anything you want. It's a really, really bad state of affairs. And we compound the problem, right? We curate our lives around this perceived sense of perfection because we get rewarded in these short-term signals, hearts, likes, thumbs up, and we conflate that with value and we conflate it with truth. And instead, what it really is fake, brittle popularity that's short-term and that leaves you even more, and admit it, vacant and empty before you did it. Because then it forces you into this vicious cycle where you're like, what's the next thing I need to do now? Because I need it back. Think about that compounded by 2 billion people. And then think about how people react then to the perceptions of others. It's really bad. It's really, really bad.
See, they know what they've done. They know what they have. Some guys, a few guys, I think they're rare, like this guy, is starting to rethink it. He seemingly still has a conscience. But governments are using this tool now, and more importantly, the people that control governments are using this tool. They know they can influence entire nations and huge people groups. They can get us to accept things that people would not accept 20 years ago. And 99% of the people are trapped in this. It's almost like the real world matrix. If you try to tell them their cell phones are killing them, or it's really affecting the way they think, they'll resist it. They'll get volatile. If you try to tell them that social media is killing them, that it's affecting the way they think, they'll deny it and get mad. Because this is their golden calf. This is their sacred cow now. They have to be there. I was listening to a study just yesterday that they did a poll, and they asked people, would you rather get rid of your debt and be off Instagram, or keep Instagram and keep your debt? In other words, if somebody offered you to get rid of your debt for you to leave Instagram, would you do it? And I think it was 60% said they could not leave Instagram. They'd rather keep their debt and stay on Instagram. That's how important Instagram is to the culture in the United States. Most people can't even go to bed without their cell phones, and yet they will deny it's affecting them in any way. And an entire new generation of kids are being brought up on this. And it's not just the kids out there, guys. It is the adults. Most people are trapped in this. I'm looking for you guys that aren't trapped in it. I'm going to have one more vid before I get out of here today. This is a video. It's an excellent video. It should scare the living hell out of you. It's out of the University of Madison. And I've never seen a greater example of cognitive dissonance than this, where somebody is programmed, literally brainwashed, to think a certain way and then hit with logic in a very tricky way. And actually their brains shut down. They don't know what to do. And this is what social media and phones, these kids think they're the smartest generation ever coming up. They're probably A students. But wisdom and knowledge are two different things.
So we've been hearing a lot lately about the freedom to live and work according to your beliefs, from the fashion designer in New York City to the small town florist in Washington. Everyone seems to have an opinion. So we visited the University of Wisconsin in Madison to hear what people have to say. So there was a dress designer that turned down Melania Trump to design her dress. She opted out. Do you think that she has the right to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Do you think it's okay for her to do that?
Yeah.
You should be able to control your business in that regard, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's that company's choice, right? I mean, it's a free market. That's what most conservatives want anyway, so.
Do you think that she has the right to do that?
The dress designer?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So you have the right to opt out of business that you might not want to associate yourself with?
Yes.
Okay. So if you were, let's say, a Muslim singer here in Madison, and a church approached you for an Easter service for you to sing, do you have the right to opt out of that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you have the right to opt out of doing whatever you want.
I think I guess so.
That seems like such an unusual circumstance that they would want them, like that the Christian church would want to force a Muslim singer to sing at their church if they didn't want to.
I would feel like if I was Muslim, it would be hard to work with someone.
Yeah, if that goes against your religious views, I feel like you have the right to turn that down.
Okay. So there's actually a city ordinance that would allow those groups to sue you by opting out, by turning down their request. Do you think that's a good law?
Probably not.
So the law is saying what now, that the Muslim singer can opt out?
Can't opt out.
Cannot opt out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what the law says? Yeah.
Do you think that's an okay law?
I don't believe so, no. No, not at all. I feel like that goes against people's rights.
So pretty much, do you think that a law should exist that would force somebody to do the work?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So let's say you're a Christian photographer here in Madison,
Yeah.
and someone approached you to do a same-sex wedding. Would that be hateful or discriminatory to opt out of that?
I don't know.
Do you have the right to do that?
In that situation, probably not, because that would bring up some legal issues, I would suspect.
Like that city ordinance, right?
Yes, yeah.
The one that you didn't agree with?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was switched to like Christian views or something, they wouldn't be able to do that. And also, I don't know, I just think it should be like fair all around.
I think it's very difficult to determine what reason it is that you make that decision, unless you're very steadfast in your religion saying, no, this is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, you're a jerk for doing that.
So your political views, your ideas, and kind of worldview is okay to say no to business, but your religious views aren't?
No?
That's such a sticky issue.
Everyone agreed that a creative professional should have the foundational freedom to decline work that conflicts with their conscience and beliefs. But when faced with a situation that conflicts with current cultural expectations, like a Christian photographer declining to promote a same-sex wedding, the gears start grinding. If a law that forces someone to promote something that's against their beliefs is so laughable, so unimaginable, then why is it so difficult to extend that same freedom to a Christian creative professional?